Support for this program is provided in part by Guido's Fresh Marketplace. Welcome to The Natural Cook. I am Anna Gershenson. Thank you for joining me again on another episode. We are approaching Thanksgiving. Believe it or not, in the Berkshires, winter has started. So even though it's cold outside, but I have decided not to cook something warm and nourishing, but to make a salad that is very nourishing. This salad was created by me when I was preparing for my demo at the Pittsfield Farmers Market for their winter market, and I decided that I wanted to share it with you because it would be a wonderful salad to add to your Thanksgiving table. All right, so let's get started. What goes into this salad? First of all, it's the beets. I was using red beets, however, when I went to shop at Guido's, the wonderful community natural health food store that supports me, I didn't find red beets, only gold ones. So I'm going with the golden beets, and we will talk about the difference between them. However, as you see, I already have roasted them and peeled them, and they are ready to go. But I will show you what I did at home to prepare the beets for the salad. So first of all, you can use either a baking sheet, and you can have a piece of foil, or if you don't want to deal with wrapping your vegetables in foil, you can just take some kind of, Pyrex dish or something that fits your beets snugly, and then proceed with placing them there and then covering them with foil, of course. So I will show you what I do. So I take the beet and I trim it, and then I scrub it with a brush to make sure that there is no dirt there. And I also like that there is moisture that is created as a result when I wash and scrub the beets, because this moisture will help create the steam when the beets are cooking. In the meantime, before I even start doing that, I would preheat my oven to 400 degrees, and then I will just, take the salt and olive oil, and I will drizzle a little bit of olive oil over the beet and kind of massage it around, and then take some salt and then sprinkle it around. Okay. And then I wrap my beets, and so there would be, about 1.5 pounds, like 5 medium-sized beets. And please make sure that your beets are uniform in size, because if you put a small beet and a large beet, then they will be cooking at different speed, and you don't want that. You want them to be ready at the same time. So you just close it tightly. You don't want the steam to escape, and you place it in your oven for an hour. For this size of beets, it took an hour for me to actually have them ready. Then you carefully open the foil, because you don't want the steam to burn your hands or your face, whatever is close to it. So open it carefully, take a sharp knife and put it through. And if the knife slides easily, it means that your beet is done. So then let it cool a little bit, because it's easier to peel the beets when they are warm than when they are cold, but you don't want to burn yourself. So this is a little tutorial about how to roast beets. All right, so now we have our roasted beets, and what we are going to do is chop them. So I prepared a large bowl, and I will chop them into pieces that are about 1/3 of an inch. I don't want them too big and I don't want them too small. I don't want them to look like a relish. I want them to be like a salad. And so I will just, as you see, I cut it in half, and this way it's nice and sturdy and flat and it's not moving anywhere. And then you just slide your knife, and it's so easy to do because they're nice and soft, and do it kind of in a sewing motion, and then go down this way. Okay, and then you just cut them. All right, and you will then take your cutting board and you will slide your beets into the bowl. Okay, so we'll do it with all other beets. So now, while I'm chopping the beets, the question is, what is the difference in nutrition between golden beets and red beets? Well, there are, of course, different nutrients in golden beets than there are in the red beets. However, they are both very nutritious. And so I find that, first of all, golden beets are actually softer. They are softer than red beets, so they are easier to handle, and probably they will soften faster as they are baking. Also, the golden beets the flavor is a little different. Maybe for people who don't like beets, golden beets might be more acceptable. So you might want to try, eating the golden beet and to get yourself exposed to the beet to get to like them, possibly. Also, golden beets will not stain your hands, as you can see, the way that the red beets do. See, I'm chopping them, and usually when I work with red beets, I would bring with me disposable gloves so that my hands are not going to get so red. But here, there is no problem. See, they are not even colored a bit. Okay, so when we are done with chopping the beets, the next thing that will go into the salad is going to be herbs. I'm using dill and mint. I chose to use these herbs because, first of all, you always want to think when you are creating a recipe or want to throw something together, which flavors go well together. And beets really taste great with both mint and dill. And so this is why I chose to use them in this salad. So with herbs, when you bring herbs home, you might ask, what do I do with herbs when I bring them home? So what I do personally is wash them in a bowl of cold water and then dry them, and then I wrap them in piece of paper towel that's placed inside plastic, and they keep well for a few days, and then you don't have to worry about having to wash them when you want to throw a meal together. Maybe you came from work and you want to add fresh herbs to your salad, which is a great idea because they are very nutritious and offer a lot of potent nutrients to your body. For example, mint and dill are both great for digestion. Okay, so we will have about, maybe 3 tablespoons of chopped herbs. So you will know when you chop them, you will have less. So have like a good bunch chopped, and then you can always add some taste. And if you don't have enough, you will add some more. All right, so that's what we'll do here. And so this is my bunch of mint and dill. I already removed the thicker stems, and what I like to do with the thicker stems, I actually, when I make chicken soup, I love adding dill. And chicken soup is a great thing to do when it's cold. Great to eat, great to make for your family, for yourself. So don't discard them, use them. All right, so let's chop. And as you can see, I'm making like a ball of herbs that I'm holding tightly. And that makes it very easy to chop it. And the same thing with mint. I will just make it into a tight ball. And then it's easy for me to have them in one place and to have control over what I'm doing. So this way I kind of shredded them, but now I'll turn them around. And if you want them chopped and not shredded, then you go perpendicular and you do it again. And I can smell the wonderful aroma of chopped herbs. So you have aromatherapy while you cook, along with getting the nutrients from the food you make. Okay, so as you see, with this salad, I'm not going to add any onion. Usually I like adding onions to beets because they provide kind of a contrast to the sweetness of the beet. However, what I do use garlic. And actually, I recommend, sorry, I didn't disconnect my phone, so it's ringing. I hope it stops soon and happens only once. Okay, so when you start making this salad, I recommend strongly that you start it with making the dressing first. Because when you use garlic in a dressing, you don't want the flavor of the garlic to be very overpowering. You want it to mellow. And by garlic sitting in an acid environment, like lemon juice or lime juice or vinegar, it will help the garlic to get softened. So what you do is you take your microplane grater, and since I'm using also the zest of lemon, and because zest of lemon will be easier to grate when your grater isn't smeared yet with the juices of garlic, because garlic is wet. I recommend that you grate the lemon zest first. And of course, if you watch my show, you know that this is one of my favorite tools, and I recommend you get it as well. It not only grates spices, but also zests that are so flavorful and delicious. And now I will grate my garlic. And so I recommend that you allow this mixture to sit for at least 10 minutes to allow the garlic and, as I said, to mellow out. So I'm using a fairly good size of garlic clove. If you don't want a strong flavor of garlic, you can use less. All right, and now I will squeeze the juice of the lemon, and as you see, I'm rolling it to get it soft, because when you roll it, it actually yields more juice. And also, when you buy it, just make sure that it feels pretty heavy, and also that it's soft, because then you know that the skin is thin and that there will be more juice, and that's what you're after, right? Okay, so I have my strainer, not to let the seeds get into the bowl. And so this little lemon surprisingly yields a very high amount of juice, which doesn't happen often. This is one of the best lemons I've met. Okay, so you want to have probably a couple of tablespoons of lemon juice. I also add balsamic vinegar when I made my red beet salad. Maybe here balsamic is not as necessary as with red beets, but you know, it is very, very flavorful. And so I'll just add just a little splash because golden beets are milder. I don't want them, to be overpowered. Then salt. You want to use really good amount of salt because there is no salt in the beets or anything else that you add to this salad. So put like maybe half a teaspoon, 3/4 teaspoon. You can adjust it later. And then you mix it together and you let it sit and mellow. Okay. So while it is mellowing, so what we are going to do, let's set this aside. And so the only other things that you are going to add is actually capers. I thought that capers add the salinity, kind of more acidity because our beets are so sweet. We want to really add something that will balance that sweetness. Okay, so we'll take, usually if the capers are small, you can run into very small capers or bigger capers. If they're small, I would not be mincing them, but I want to make sure that you get them really, that they mingle among the beets, that you actually get the taste of them. And if you have just, one whole caper, then you will have a bite of it, but it won't be distributed evenly. And I want them to be, like in every bite to flavor the beets. So I will add it now also to my bowl, and then you can add more if you want to. We all taste things. So another thing that goes into it is the pomegranate. The pomegranate is a fall fruit, and it is amazing for your health. It's one of the top fruit in terms of nutrition and the benefits. For example, its antioxidant activity has been measured to be 3 times higher than green tea or red wine. So I know that the season is short, but so take advantage of when the season is in, which is like starting in November and through first months of the winter. So what we are going to do is add our pomegranate, and if I have time, I brought a whole pomegranate. I want to show you quickly, how to get the pomegranate arrows. And when you eat pomegranate, please make sure to eat arrows as well, because they have very beneficial oils in them. And in this salad, they will actually add to its crunchiness. So now you see how beautiful it is. You have all these colors that are, golden and red and green. I mean, how much more beautiful than that can it be? Another ingredient that I brought is toasted almonds. I toast them in the oven at 350 degrees for about 5 minutes. Make sure that they don't burn. And they will also add a nice crunch and more nutrition. So now we'll finish our dressing. To finish the dressing, I will start, I forgot a very important part in the dressing, black pepper. Black pepper not only adds flavor, but it actually makes all the nutrients more bioavailable. So you want to make sure that you use it in your food as much as possible. So now I am drizzling the olive oil, and first I start slowly, meaning not whisking slowly, I'm whisking fast, but adding it slowly, because you want to make sure that it starts emulsifying. And usually the ratio of olive oil to lemon juice or whatever acid you have in your dressing, I like the ratio of 1 to 2, meaning 1 of the acid and 2 of the olive oil, because especially when you are dressing salads, and salad like this that has a lot of sweetness, you want to make sure that your dressing is very assertive and highly seasoned and on the salty side. So I'm going to taste it now. It's so good. and it's perfect. It's just, I feel that the salt comes through, the acidity comes through, and garlic is not as assertive as it was. And then we'll just pour it in. You might not want to pour in the whole thing. Depends. See, I have one bit left, which I'll add later. And now you want to mix it together. So let's mix it together. Okay. And this kind of salad you actually can make a day in advance. Of course, beets can be roasted in advance as well. And you can have them ready in the refrigerator, you know, up to a few days in advance. But the salad, if it sits longer, the flavors will actually penetrate the beets and will make them kind of a little marinated. So I'm going to taste it now and see how it tastes. Definitely, the salad will benefit from sitting. I would squeeze more lemon because these beets are so sweet. Also, another spice that I want to share with you that you could use here if you get your hands on sumac. Sumac grows locally and can be foraged. This sumac is from the Middle East. So it's a very tart spice, also wonderful for your health. I add it to my smoothies. And because it's so tart and it doesn't add any kind of, you know, acidity, it adds acidity but not like extra moisture, it will help temper your beets, okay? And the last thing that you want to do, I'll get this. The last thing that you want to do is actually toss toasted almonds in and save some pomegranate and save some toasted almonds so that you can put them on top. And then your salad is ready. You will actually place it on your plate. And then you can add a little bit more, sprinkle, although we have plenty here that show up, and sprinkle more of these. And then you can take your herbs and just, you know, place them here and there to decorate your salad, and then you will enjoy this delicious and nutritious salad. Okay, now I want to quickly show you what I do with the pomegranate. So this is my pomegranate large bowl. Put an apron on or wear something dark, okay? And then what you want to do is you can roll it a little bit kind of to soften, but you see here you have like a cap. So you cut around the cap. And then you lift it gently and keep your knife. If you didn't cut through, your knife will help you. With your knife, you help yourself to cut it through more. Okay, and once you did it, you remove this, and that's what you have. So then you see how you have these bumps, and also inside you can see that there are separations where the bumps are. So you want to make cuts along those bumps and cut, but not all the way through, just some of the way. And then you want to open, and you can get rid of this middle. And as you can see, you have these sections. Then you can have water here. That way you can avoid splashing. But if you don't want them to be in the water, then you just make sure to have a good spoon, flat spoon, this is my spatula that I use for this, and just hit on it. Hit on it, rotate it, and you can see that pomegranate is getting out very easily and splashing. And so water is very, very useful. If they fall into water, they don't splash. Also, these white section, like white pith that is there, that helps for them to sit inside, that if it's in the water, it will start floating. Okay, so you got the idea. See how easily it is being removed. So great. So you will remove this, and then you can store your pomegranate seeds, arils, in the refrigerator for up to a week, and make sure to eat them because they are great for so many different things, to fight cancer and arthritis, inflammation. It's a great, great food. Okay, so today we made this wonderful salad that you can use every day. You can sit in your refrigerator and make more and more of it because there are many wonderful nutrients there. And thank you for joining me. And have a wonderful season. You can watch other dishes that I made on my other episodes that are suitable for Thanksgiving table. Thank you. Support for this program is provided in part by Guido's Fresh Marketplace.